There we go. Would help if I unmute my microphone. Thank you to everybody who's joining in for my talk today. Today I'm going to talk about how to build a Quokkabot, and hopefully there'll be lots of really cute photos in there as well. So, as I said, my name's Amy. I live in Perth, but normally spend most of my time traveling the world and speaking at conferences. I'm a freelance developer, a Twilio champion, a Microsoft MVP, and as you can see in the picture, I'm an owner of a grey and white border collie. And although I normally work from home, I'm an extrovert, which means that right now I will start a conversation with pretty much anybody, whether they want to talk to me or not. And today I'm here to talk to you about Quokkas. Now, for those of you who don't know them, Quokkas are one of those Australian animals that you probably don't believe really exists. They're only found on a small island about 20 minutes off the coast of Perth. They have no natural predators, which means they know no fear. They don't mind getting up close and personal with people, and they will get into any tent that you don't zip up properly and leave any food you have lying around. In fact, they will probably even eat any food that you have in your hand. They really don't mind. Because they look like they're smiling and they don't mind getting up close and personal, Quokkas also take really great selfies. So last year, when I did a demo at Twilio Superclass in Sydney, I decided to build a chatbot that would send you pictures of Quokkas, because who doesn't love Quokkas? I have a blog post where I documented how I built this chatbot as well, if you want to check it out later. And after talking with one of the Twilio advocates at the event, we decided to add in some machine learning and built a Quokka identifying chatbot, so you can make sure that what you're seeing is actually a Quokka and not one of our more dangerous animals. This is using the Twilio WhatsApp API, which when you send a message to a particular WhatsApp number, triggers an Azure function, which sends the image to Microsoft's cognitive services. It then has a look and compares it with a trained image classification model that I've set up, sends the results back to the Azure function, which sends a message back via the Twilio WhatsApp API to the user. And today you all get to test this out as well. So if you don't have WhatsApp installed on your phone and would like to give this a go, now's the time to install it when we get ready to test. Now we're going to try the live demo and hope, fingers crossed, that this works. Okay, so I've already got this set up using an Azure function, which at the moment doesn't have anything in there. It's really easy to set up an Azure function from the start. They've actually got a VS Code plugin, which does it for you. So that one's really easy if you're starting it out yourself. I'm also requiring some environment variables so that I don't put all of my API keys up on the internet, on the stream, or in my GitHub repository, which definitely only accidentally happened once. So I'm going to start off today, and I said the live demo wasn't going to work. I'm going to start off today with a very simple Azure function. Now this is also running locally on my computer. You can, once you've finished working on an Azure function, you can set that up in the Azure portal. I'm taking the request that it gets when it gets triggered. I'm requiring the Twilio client, and I'm using what's called TWIML, which is the Twilio markup language. And I'm using their message response function, which is a really easy way to get a message and then send a response to the person who sent that message without having to get their details or save numbers and stuff like that. From that, I'm going to create a new message using TWIML. I'm going to create a body for the message, which I want to be welcome to Quokkabot. And I'm then going to set it to use XML content so that it formats it properly. And then I want it to send the message at the end of my function. Now, if I open up my WhatsApp number and I send a message to Quokkabot, this will take a little bit of time, but I should then get a response back from Quokkabot that says, welcome to Quokkabot. And if I wait for it to think for a bit, a bit of time, says it's just been triggered. Go again in case it fell asleep. There we go. It says, welcome to Quokkabot. So I sent it a message. It's then sending a response back to my WhatsApp number. But because we're getting people to send in images, I need to be able to get that image from the message response when someone sends it in. Now I'll see if... Okay, my snippets aren't working. No, that's the code I had before. Okay, so I've just made a couple of changes to our function. Now, as well as getting the message, I'm using a package called query stream to pass the message that I'm getting from WhatsApp, and from that I'm getting the body of the message. Now, inside that body, it then also has a URL of an image when someone sends an image. So I'm going to get that, and I want to send the image back to the person who sent it, just so I can see what it looks like there. So now if I send, this time I'll send through an image to Quokkabot. And send through a picture of a quokka. This should then send me a URL to that particular image. This API is really easy for sorting all of that out because Twilio actually gives us a URL, so I don't have to worry about uploading it anywhere. They do all of that for me, and I get a nice easy URL that I can send through to the cognitive services to look at. So to do that, I'm going to do two functions here. One, I'm going to create a new function called Quokka test, and in here is where I'm going to send that image through to the cognitive services prediction API. So it's where they can predict what exactly is going on. So I've got my environment variables here, so I can authenticate. This is the particular version of my machine learning model that I'm testing against. And here I'm using the method for classify image URL. So I'm going to give it the URL of an image, and I want it to run a classification against that. I'm then going to use this function in my WhatsApp function. And here, when I get the URL of the image, first of all, I'm going to check whether or not someone has actually sent an image, and I'm going to get the URL of the image, and I'm going to send that image through to the Custom Vision API. Now, if we have a look here, this is the dashboard for the Custom Vision API, and here I can see all of the images that have been sent in, which at the moment we don't have any here, until I send through. Now, if I send it an image again, and send that image through, what happens is this image is now being sent through to my cognitive services custom vision to check whether or not it is in fact a Quokka. So it'll then send me a response back so that I know that the function's worked and this has all gone through. Now, if I refresh my prediction page, I should have an image in here which has just been tested. Which, there we go, that's the image that I've just sent through, and you can see it's 100% sure that that is a Quokka. Now I want to actually get my results and send them through so that people can see what the results were, because not everyone's going to have access to my dashboard. So I'm going to update my code here. Now, as well as getting the results, I'm then going to save that. And from that, the results come in a particular format, as well as giving a bunch of other information. But I'm getting two probabilities. One probability is that it's not a Quokka, and the other probability is that it is a Quokka. And I'm saving that in an array here, so that when I send an image through to my custom vision function, it will send me the array of results back. I'm then going to adjust my WhatsApp function here so that when it sends through and gets the results back from custom vision for the image, I then want it to format a reply from those results. Here it's working out whether or not, so this is the percentage that it is a Quokka, this is the percentage that it isn't a Quokka. It then works out whether or not one percentage is higher than the other. If the first result is higher than the second result, that means it's not a Quokka, otherwise it is a Quokka. And it then formats the results here for me. So now, when I send through a picture, which we'll use a different picture this time. Now when I send this through, this will again send it through to custom vision, which we'll be able to have a look at, but it will then get the results back and it will let me know whether or not the results have determined whether this is or isn't a Quokka. And it should give me the percentages as well. There we go. So this is 99.96% sure it's a Quokka, but it's 0.04% sure that it might not be a Quokka. So it's a Quokka, but it's not 100% sure that it is, which is a little bit concerning because that's one of my testing images. As I said though, this also came from Quokkabot, which allowed people to send in their own images, allowed people to request an image of a Quokka if they didn't have any, because Quokkas are pretty cute and sometimes you just need a cute image to get through the day. And right now we all kind of need more Quokkas. Now, if I'm able to select change in code, okay, what I'm doing now is I'm first of all going to check, has somebody sent through an image? If they've sent through an image, I then send that through custom vision and test it to see whether or not it's a Quokka. If somebody hasn't sent through an image, what I then do is I will send it a bit of information based on the Quokkabot functionality, which, if we have a look at that code here, what this does is, if it does very advanced AI, if the message contains the word Quokka, it will send you a picture of a Quokka. If it doesn't contain the word Quokka, then I want to send through a bit of information about Quokkabot so they know how to use it. It says, welcome to Quokkabot. I can do a bunch of things. You can send me a picture of a Quokka or you can ask for a Quokka. So now, if I just send through a message, this doesn't contain the word Quokka, which means that it should send me a picture. No, it doesn't contain the word Quokka, which means it should let me know how I can use Quokkabot and what I can do with it. So if I wait to get a response, there we go. Welcome to Quokkabot. And can I have a Quokka? If I ask it for a picture of a Quokka, it should send me one in response. As I said, very, very advanced AI in the form of an if-else statement. So it isn't super accurate. If I say, please don't send me a Quokka, it will still send a Quokka. There we go. There's a picture of a Quokka. And as before, I can send through an image. Say, for example, this isn't a picture of a Quokka. So let's see what it says. Now, if I send through an image, it should tell me that that's not a Quokka. We get the result back. There we go. That doesn't look like a Quokka. That's pretty sad though. So it sent me a picture of a Quokka anyway. So as you can see, the Twilio WhatsApp API is fairly easy to get started with. This is very, although I had the code ready to go, this is fairly simple to get started with yourself. And in case you don't believe me and you think I've rigged the whole thing, this is a QR code you can scan with your phone, which should take you straight to send a message into Quokkabot on WhatsApp. If you can't get the code to scan, that is a URL at the bottom as well. So you can type that in, or you can add the contact. Here is the number of Quokkabot as well that you can test it out. So if I give you a chance to get that started, and I can have a look to see if anybody is testing, if anybody is sending in any pictures. I can have a look here. My computer's a bit slow because it's trying to do too many things at once. Okay, I'm going to leave that QR code up there as well in case anybody else is trying to get access to that. And I can have a look to see if anybody's testing this out and sending in. Yes, I can see we do have some new images in. So you can see here, here's a picture of a dog. It's not my dog. I haven't sent that in. I know whose dog that is. That's Bill's dog. That's Ruby. And you can see here, it's 99.9% sure that Ruby is not a Quokka, which is true. So this is a pretty cool thing that you can do with the Twilio Communications APIs and the Azure Functions and Custom Vision. There will be a blog post coming out about how to do this yourself soon. In the meantime, thank you very much for joining me for my talk today. This has been really fun to, you know, talk to a camera and probably nobody whatsoever. Thank you very much for having me at Working From Home Conf. Hopefully we can all get through this together soon. Thanks.